Hi and welcome to the next video in my age domain website case study series. And in this video we're going to talk about a few topics that I missed on my previous video. Now it isn't the topic that I thought I was going to cover in this video, but it is important that we do it. So this is video number 4. Let's get into this. Hi and welcome back to the channel again. My name's Carl Broadbent and this is a series of videos where I'm building out a niche website from scratch but using a premium age domain. So this is an age domain that I purchased from a company called ODYS, who specializes in supplying quality premium age domains with lots of authority, lots of backlinks and some age to them. Now the reason I'm doing this video series, I wanted to know, is it easier and quicker to build a niche website with a premium age domain? Or are you best starting from scratch, just using a free domain or a very cheap $10 domain that you can find anywhere on places like GoDaddy? Or should you look at actually starting a website using a premium age domain? Now I have a feeling it is going to be beneficial to do that, but I have never done it. So total honesty and transparency, you are going to see everything. You're going to see whether it's worth doing, is it worth spending a couple of $100 or even a couple of $1,000 from somewhere like ODYS to buy a really quality domain. I don't know, like I say, I've never tried it, but we will find out. So I'm doing a series of videos step by step. You can follow along the entire journey from me purchasing the domain all the way through to monetizing, getting traffic and all that good stuff. So if you'd like to follow along, please subscribe to the channel and definitely go check ODYS out. There is a link in the description and you will get $100 free credit if you sign up and check out some of their premium age domains. It's definitely worth a snoop around, have a look. There's some fascinating domains in there. Some of the age and authority is insane. You're talking websites that are 22, 23 year old. Some of them have got DAs of 40 and 50 already. So it is worth having a look, even if you may think it's a bit scary to use a premium age domain because you've never done it. Watch my series, you'll find out if it works. So today's video, why am I not doing keyword research in video number 4 as promised? Well, video number 3 was all about setting up the theme and the menus and the structure of the site, getting it ready for adding content. But I realized a few days later that there were a few important things that I'd forgot to do, and I was just gonna basically do it in the background and crack on and then bring video number 4 out with the keyword research. But I thought I need to show you every step of the way, so I thought we'd cover this in today's video. It may not be as exciting and as glamorous as doing keyword research, but it does need to be covered. So the 3 things we're going to talk about in today's video. Number 1, user roles across a WordPress website. So I have a team of writers, VAs and editors that I'm lucky enough to build up over the last 4 years, and they all need access to the website and they all need the correct user roles. Now it's often a little bit scary giving somebody access to your website, especially if you don't know them personally, and you might be worried about, can they delete content, can they even lock you out of your website, what can they actually do? So what we'll do is we'll cover some of the user access roles that I've given my writers and VAs and actually what each one does. And then number 2, I need to add some legal documents. So privacy policies, cookie consents and terms of service. We need to do them. They are boring, but it is a legal requirement in certain countries and it is important that you make sure you are fully covered. So we'll cover that in today's topic as well. And then finally, we need to look at an about page. So it is important to show Google that you are a authority or a enthusiast within the topic that we're going to cover and give some reasoning behind the website. Hopefully that will build a little bit of authority and it will show Google that you are a relevant person in this topic, and quite rightly, people should follow you and read your content. So it is important we set up an about page. Now, I'm not going to show you exactly step by step what I'm going to do, but I'm going to show you some good examples and some bad examples of about pages and what you should be looking at when you're building yours. And then over the next few days, you can quite happily go on the website and you'll see what I've created. So let's get over to the computer now. Let's quickly cover all 3 of these topics. So we are then finally ready to do video 5 in a couple of days, where I will definitely be doing the keyword research.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to cover is the user access roles within your WordPress dashboard. So if we look at the list here and start from the bottom, you can see subscriber. So that is somebody who can only manage their own profile. That's quite simple. It's a custom that you would give login access to so they can see restricted information or content. A contributor, that is somebody who can write and manage their own posts but cannot publish them. So that is an access that you would give to maybe a new writer, somebody you don't fully trust yet and you don't trust them to publish their own content. An author role is one that I use more or less all the time, and that is somebody who can publish and manage their own posts only. So they cannot publish or edit or delete anybody else's content. And then we have the editor role, and that is somebody who can publish and manage posts, including other people's. So that's often the one that you give to your editors and even sometimes your VAs, where they can go in, they can add, delete anybody's content on the website. And then you have the administrator role, which is basically the owner or VAs. I often give my VAs the administrator role, and that is somebody who has access to every functionality across one single site. Now I say one single site because there is a super admin role, and that is somebody who has access across a multiple network of sites to all the functions. So it's basically an administrator role across lots of websites. So let's say you had 5 WordPress websites, you can connect them all up with a super admin role, and then you could give that to a VA or an editor, and they can go across all your websites with the same access and be able to carry out multiple functions and tasks on there. So if I have a look at my website now, you can see the access I've given my team. Okay, so you can see the roles that we have here. So the administrator is myself and my main VA, which is Helen. We also have administrator roles are set up for my hosting company, which is a good friend of mine, Phil over at spiderweb.co.uk, and he also has the administrator role. And then we have my editor, which is Zach, you can see at the bottom, and Zach has the facility to go in and edit anybody's content. So he can access all the writers' content, add, delete, publish. Now the difference, like I say, all my writers that you can see here, we have 5 dedicated in-house writers on this project, and that is Joe, Lillian, Megan, Renee and Stephanie. And they all have the author role, which, like I say, that means they can only work on their own content. They can't edit and delete each other's. Now, like I've mentioned before in the intro, the only issue with that is if I go into, let's say, Stephanie's article and I change it to a few things, and I set it to me as the author, then if she wants to go back into that, she can't because I've set it as me. She would need an editor role to go in and edit an article that I've done. So even though she wrote it in the first place, if I then change the person who's written the article, she would need access to that and she can't do it. So that's the settings I have on my website. Like I say, I would only give the administrator role to somebody who you really, really trust. And then again, stepping down, the editor role is also needs to be somebody you trust because they can delete anybody's content. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is the legal on policies, privacy policies, cookie consent, etc. You can see there's a space here at the bottom in my popcorn theme, and you can see that we need to add these policies. So you're going to need to add 3 policies: privacy policy, cookie consent, and your terms of service. Now, there are a few ways you can do that. Number 1, if you are with an advertising media company like Ezoic or AdThrive or Mediavine, they usually do provide these for free. So I'm going to give you an example here. So this is Hutch and Cage, and you can see at the bottom, privacy policy. This is with Mediavine. So you can see they have provided the pop-up cookie consent. And then you can see here the privacy policy is also provided by Mediavine. Now, if I click here, you can see the full privacy policy has been added by Mediavine themselves. So that is me covered, hasn't cost me anything, and that's because I'm with this ad partner. Now, if you're with somebody else like Ezoic or AdThrive, they do exactly the same. They will provide the privacy policies and everything you need, so you don't have to worry, you are fully covered. However, if you've not got ads on your site yet, you are going to want to make sure you are still legally covered and compliant, and you'll need to add these pages. So there are a few methods you can use. Obviously, you could try and write one yourself, but I am not a lawyer and I don't suggest that you do that, and you could get yourself into some really hot water by trying to write one yourself. You could go to somebody else's website and copy and paste theirs, but again, that could get you into lots of trouble. So there are some paid versions you could use, and I'm just going to show you an example. Now, I'm not an affiliate for any of these. I'm not bothered whether you use them or not, but there are a few options here. So Termly is one, and they can provide all the comprehensive legal policies you need for all countries and on all different types of platforms. Equally, there's IUBender, and that's another company that has all the privacy policies and everything you will need. And you can see here, privacy, cookie consent, terms and conditions. So again, you could get all three. Now, these are paid options and they all have various pricing plans. Now, the reason you would use a pricing plan is because they are automatically updated. So there's been some changes recently in, for instance, California has changed their GDPR laws. And again, you would have to change all your privacy policies manually. Now, using a paid option, they will automatically do them. Because they're embedded on your website, you don't have any fears. If there's any legal changes or changes in the laws where you're serving your content to, then it would automatically be done for you. So that is the reason why I suggest if you want to be fully covered, it might be worth using a paid solution. Now, there are some cheaper examples like this one here, WP Auto Terms, and this one again has all the policies that you need. Again, it's a plugin that you can put on your website and it will automatically update, so you never miss out on any legal changes that happens. And the reason why I'm going to consider this one is because it is a free option, but it also has a reasonably priced premium license. And you can see here for 2 websites, it's only $39 per website, and it's a one-off payment, where Termly and IUBender are all monthly subscriptions. In fact, you can see here they are quite expensive. So let's just bring that up. There you go, £12 a month, unlimited documents per website. So it is very expensive. So this one seems to be one of the most reasonably priced plans I've found, and this would make sure I'm fully covered. Like I say, when I get to the point where I can put display ads on there, I will probably swap it out and put the privacy policies and the terms and conditions that something like Ezoic or Mediavine recommend, and I will probably be using them. But I do want to make sure until I get to that point, I am still legally covered. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. And finally, on the website, we need our About page. Now, like I say, I'm not going to create that here and now. It could take hours, but I'm going to show you a couple of examples. So here's an example that I found from an affiliate website selling earphones and earpods. And you can see it's clearly an Amazon associate site here. And you can see this is a really poor example. So there's a generic image here and a little bit about us. Hi, we are earphones.com and we sell earphones, and earphones is what we do. It's a very dull About page. It has no authority, no relevance whatsoever, and there's no personality to it, absolutely none. So let's have a look at a really good quality one. So here's one I found from a very big website, gardenbeast.com, and again, you can see here, this is much, much better. Look at all the quality information that's backing up this site. So they tell you when there was launched, it tells you the actual media company that's behind it, it tells you the company registration number, it tells you the real address, and then we go into things like editor-in-chief, who he is, why he's the editor-in-chief, how long he's been there. But more importantly, you can see here, we've got all their social media LinkedIn profiles. And even better, they all have company email addresses. So this is Oliver at gardenbeast.com. This one is Nick at gardenbeast.com. This one is Robin at gardenbeast.com. So Google can see they all have the same email address that links back to the main company, and all this adds authority and relevancy. So this is a really good example of an authoritative About page. And finally, let me show you a really personal one. So this is At Home with Natalie, and this is one that I really like. So again, she's adding her authority by putting her address, her email address, and links to her profiles, which adds the Google authority, but then she personalizes it. So here's her family, here's her holidays, here's her home, here's her baby, children, pets. Everything is on here. It's a very personalized About page, but it also offers authority. So I like this. This is kind of the thing that I'm going to go for. I'll show pictures of me gardening. I'll have links to articles I really like. I'll have my personal business email address on there. and I think this is a really good one to go by as an example. So you can see a few ones there, a poor one, a very good one in the niche that we're in, and a very personalized one.
So there you go, we are now definitely ready to start doing keyword research and start hopefully adding some content. But it was important to show you all the steps that go into making a website, and these 3 steps needed to be covered, so I thought it was valuable to share it with you. Like I say, I want this playlist to be a step-by-step, video by video guide for you to setting up your own website. Whether you use a premium age domain or you're setting up from scratch, there's no difference really, other than the domain I bought was a premium age domain. So if you're enjoying this series, please make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and if you don't want to miss any of these videos, you need to click that little bell icon and then you will be notified when I bring a new video out. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you in video number 5, where we're definitely doing keyword research.